What's up, everyone? It's the OOTP GM, and I want to welcome you to the 26th episode of my Detroit Tigers GM Let's Play here on Out of the Park Baseball 18. So we're here for the 2022 first-year player draft, and before we get into that, I wanted to give you guys an update on how the team has been doing. So we got off to a pretty good start at the beginning of the year. As you'll see here in April, we got off to a pretty fast start. Winning the majority of our games, and then we kind of hit a little bit of a lull in May. Had a 4-game losing streak. Lost 3 of 4 here, but it started to play a lot better recently. We won 7 straight games rather, heading into the draft here. So we've started to play a lot better. You can see our rankings here. Second in runs scored, second in batting average, first in on base percentage. Only sixth in home runs at this point, but that's okay. Pitching has done relatively well. Our starters got off to a really slow start. I'll revisit that in a minute. But our bullpen, excellent again, and defensive efficiency has been really good as well. In terms of our pitching staff, as you'll see from our rotation here, Aaron Slegers is not part of our rotation. He got off to an abysmal start for us. You'll see he's down in the minors here. He had an ERA of 9 in 4 starts with us this season. He was just awful. So I sent him down to the minors, and I saw that Danny Duffy was still a free agent. So I went ahead and offered him a contract for $4.5 million. And he's been kind of hit or miss, but he's at least been a more stabilizing force at the back end of our rotation than Slegers was. And as you can see, the rest of our rotation has done pretty well up to this point as well. Buehler's having his best season so far, so is Burrows. Faedo having his best season. Fulmer's a little bit behind last year's pace, but, he's the ace of our staff. I can't really complain with how he's done at the beginning of the season. So hopefully this can continue for us, because everybody got kind of off to a slow start, but they started to pitch a lot better. And then in terms of the bullpen, everybody is doing pretty well with the exception of LeKind and Altavia. Depending on what happens over the next couple of weeks, I might be moving these guys around and bringing people up from our minor league system to maybe take their place. But everybody else is doing really well. Minter's having a sensational start to the season. Then in terms of the lineup, again, everybody is doing pretty well for the most part. That might be easier if I do it this way. So pretty much all of our starters are playing pretty well at this point. Guerrero's a little bit behind what he did last year for us when we called him up. So he's struggling a little bit this year, a little bit of a sophomore slump. Harper's numbers are down from what he did last year during his MVP campaign, but still really good for anybody in general. Mike Trout got off to a really slow start at the beginning of the year, but he's just been mashing the ball recently. And then pretty much everybody else is playing really, really well. We've had Cabrera in because Stewart, we lost him for about 3 weeks with a broken foot, or fractured foot rather. So we've been getting really good performances all the way around. Can't really complain with how the team has done. And you can see 37-21 record. We're percentage points behind the Minnesota Twins. We're tied with them, but we're percentage points behind for first place. That's why we're listed as being in second. So with all that out of the way, let's go ahead and head into the first-year player draft. I have not looked at any of this. This is the first time that I'm going to be looking at these players. I figured it might be a little bit better for me to kind of go in blind, and we'll see what's going on. So, as you can see, Theo does not rate this as a very strong draft class. Very little in terms of top-end talent. No 5-star potential players this year, according to Theo. So that's a little disconcerting, but we'll kind of wait and see how it plays out and go from there. So we're going to go ahead and pick until next for Detroit. So we come to pick number 27, and there are a couple of guys that are 4.5-star potentials left, and then some 3-star guys after that. So first off, let's see who Theo likes. And he likes Kevin Munson, who is he's from Royal Oak too. He is a closer. Now we do have a lot of pitchers in our system already. Let's see, his rates out to have 80 stuff. As I said before, you always want to see that for potential bullpen guys. Rates out to have 2 pretty good pitches. Has the stuff to be a big league closer. elite pitchers in terms of stuff. Like to see that. So, I mean, he looks like he's got pretty good ratings. I can't really go wrong with that. A little bit of an older guy, which means he might be able to come up through the system faster. So you like to see that. And then there's also the second baseman, 19-year-old second baseman, which we have quite a few in our system already. We're lacking in third baseman, but let's see what this says here. High intelligence, low leader. Relatively average across the board, only plays one position. Alright. We got starting pitcher Jimmy Backman. His future is projected to be in the bullpen, though. He's not projected to be a future starter. So, a lot of starting pitchers here. 2.4 million. Bullpen, another bullpen guy. Let's see, what about Gloth? He's projected to be a starter. 3 decent pitches. Decent stuff. Not particularly good movement or control, though. He is a lefty, which is always nice. So I think we're going to go with Theo's recommendation, though. I did like Munson. And you can never have too many arms, as I said a bazillion times in the series. You can never have too many arms in your system for the bullpen. So we're going to go ahead and draft him. We'll go until our next pick. Second round now. And you can see some of these guys dropped to us here. So this Billups is still available. We got this starting pitcher. I think he was the one that was projected for, bullpen only. This impossible first baseman. Let's see what Theo likes. Sergio Chapa. See if I see him anywhere down. Here he is. He's a center fielder. 1.5 star guy, but I think I'm actually tempted to. What about this 18-year-old second baseman? He plays second and short, low greed, 60 contact and 65 power potential. I like that, and 60 void Ks. I might actually take this McLean guy. Let's see what other kind of ratings he's got. Good running speed. Not a particularly, doesn't grade out as a particularly great fielder, but does play 2 positions at least. Young guy. A pretty decent potential rating. So I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna draft this McLean or McCaslin. I completely botched that. That was pretty bad. McCaslin. So we're gonna draft him. And then third round now, and you can see this Billups is still falling. Esau. Let's see who Theo likes. Gil Ikens? Is he anywhere near the top, or is he way down the list? No, he's a center fielder. So, kind of pushing center fielders off on us at this point. Do we need center fielders? No, actually, we would need left fielders more. Alright, here's a left fielder. 50, 60. Void K is only a 45. Plays 2 outfield positions. High intelligence, low greed. Decent fielder. Decent stats against great level competition. He's a left-handed bat. That's always nice to see. Let's see. What does OSA look? Okay, OSA likes him a little bit better. Let's see. What else have we got here? OSA, okay. I think I'm actually going to draft this guy, this Ledyard. Let's go back here real quick and see if there's anybody else. Like this guy, the fact that this guy has fallen into the third round is interesting to me. What about this first baseman, impossible first baseman? No, I don't like the low intelligence. You still got this pitcher. You know what? I'm going to take a chance that this Billups is going to fall to us, and I'm going to draft Ledyard here in the third. And then, okay, he did not fall to us. We are now at the back end of the third round here. He did not fall to us. I'm going to take a stab in the dark and say Theo's going to recommend another outfielder, Chris Jones. How far down is he? Is he pretty far down? Yeah, it looks like Jones is going to be a 1-star guy, and that's exactly what he is. And he is a center fielder. So Theo is zoomed in on us getting a center fielder at this point. Let's take a look at this Belk guy. He is projected out to be a starter. He's an impossible 60, 55, 55. Grades out to have 3 potentially decent pitches. Right-hander. OSA likes him slightly better. Okay, 80 stamina. That's always nice to see. I don't have any information on his... But you know what? This is about the point in time where I like to take chances on these impossible guys because we can always get extra picks. So I'm going to draft this Belk, take a chance on him because you never know what his demands might be. Now here we are in the 4th round. I'm going to take another stab in the dark and say Theo's going to recommend another outfielder. He seems to really want us to take one. Wes Caps, I'm guessing, is another... No, he's a first baseman. 1.5 stars. I must have gone right over him then. Here he is. 1.5 stars. Okay. There's also Gabe Brooks. Let's see about this guy. Decent discipline, home run power, only a 50 contact, not a particularly good fielder either. Alright, now how does he compare to this Brooks guy who's an impossible? Now, this guy has more power, more home run power, low intelligence. Normally I don't like guys with low intelligences, but again, I'm going to take a chance here on this guy because even though he's impossible, you know what? We're not really hurting ourselves in anything. We always have a chance to get extra picks back. You can see Caps is even still available at this point. Dusty Locomotive Slater, starting pitcher. Let's see now. Which one of these guys? Any of these starting pitchers are projected for bullpen. What about Bonilla? Borderline starter, high work ethic, high intelligence. Only rated out to have 2 really good pitches though. So and he's an impossible guy, so that's a little bit tough there. Caps is still available. Kirkpatrick is still available. Let's see. What about this? We can always use another third baseman in our system. I don't love his avoid K rating. Alright. What about Jerry Brown, right fielder? No lower. Nope, not with him. Let's see, what else we got? Luis Acevedo. Let's see, now we're getting into the 1-star guys. So, what about Chris Louisville? Now this is a guy I can get behind. High leader, high work ethic, really good outfield range. Batting ratings are not particularly great, but he's one of these guys, again, we put him in our system. He could be a defensive juggernaut for us. Guy that can come in and play some different positions. So I'm going to do Louisville here. I'm going to take him. I like guys that can play multiple positions. I like that kind of versatility. And then Bonilla, we're just going to draft him, take a chance on him. He's an impossible guy. And now at this point, we're pretty much out of rated players. I'm going to go ahead and just let Theo finish the draft for me at this point. And it looks like that's going to be the end of our first-year player draft. I'll go ahead and I will do the negotiations now, so you guys can witness that real quick. I'm just going to move forward today. Also be day-to-day injury, back spasms. Okay, so he'll be fine. No worries there. We'll negotiate with draftees. Munson's only looking for 190,000, so we'll give him that. McCaslin wants 240. We'll meet his demand. Ledyard only wants 200. We'll meet his demand. And Louisville wants 150. Alright, so we have a draft budget of $4.38 million. We've offered $780,000. So Belk is looking for 2.6. Brooks is looking for $6 million, so we're not going to be offering Brooks a contract. And Bonilla is looking for 2.8. I think I'm probably going to end up offering it to Belks. I think Belk, not Belks, Belk. I'm going to offer him so he's looking for 2.6. I'm going to offer him 3.2 and see if that'll get him to sign. And if he'll sign for 3.2 million, great. And then if not, we'll kind of wait and see what happens with the rest of these guys. So those are the offers I'm going to make. If Belk doesn't sign, or he doesn't want that offer, I might negotiate with one of these other players. Probably Bonilla would be the other one I would negotiate with if Belk doesn't sign for 3.2. So, all right. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to end the episode here, everyone. And I will see you guys next time for probably the international free agent signing period. Hopefully there'll actually be some good players this year. And then the trade deadline, free All-Star break. I can't think for whatever reason. I apologize. So, all right. So with that, I'm gonna go ahead and end everything here. I want to thank you guys for watching. Feel free to like and subscribe. Comments and feedback are always welcome. And I will see you guys next episode for episode number 27.